Hey everybody, Andy Gideon here. I forget which update this is, but I haven't done one in a while. And as usual, I've been busy. Wings are now all painted. They're not finished. I need to still put the silver on the leading edge, and I still got graphics I need to put on it and so forth. But they're all painted with semi-gloss latex house paint. Turned out not too bad. I've used latex before on fabric covering, and this is the first time using it over a prime surface, and honestly I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I'm not super impressed with it. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but whatever. The fuselage is ready for primer. Last night I made the nice fillet between the canopy hatch and the fuselage using 15-minute epoxy and micro balloons. Wrapped the hatch in wax paper. Spread the epoxy and micro balloons on the fuselage. Then just bolted it down and let it dry. Then when I'm done, sand it off. And now you can see I have a perfect fill all the way around, no gaps. So when it's all painted and the canopy's on there, you'll barely be able to tell that there's a removable hatch. But like I said, this is hopefully tomorrow going to be in primer. The glass and everything turned out real good. Real happy with it. You can see my super decked out cockpit area. Look at the scale detail on that. I'm not much into the scale thing. I just want it to be a nice looking jet and want to have fun flying it. Got my spots already laid out for my guns. And other than that, it's ready for primer. Today is Friday, April 1st, and tomorrow I'm going to Toledo. So if I'm not too exhausted when I get home from Toledo tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and take it to my unfortunate place of employment and get it primed. Yep, the wings, they turned out not too bad. It's not, you can't really see them in the camera, which is a good thing, but they have a lot of surface scratches. I wet sanded my primer like I have done all my years of modeling. I've never had a problem with surface scratches, but all of a sudden I can see them. So kind of pisses me off, but hey, I'm not trying to win any beauty pageants with this thing. I just want to fly it. But now that we are officially into flying season, starting to get some other projects out and get them fixed up. Got some repairs on my Top Flight Mustang. Last year at Air Supremacy over Elkhart, I got caught in a nasty crosswind on landing and pulled my right gear out, and it did some pretty good damage to my wing when it pulled it out. I glued the mount back in and flew it the rest of the event, but the bottom was pretty beat up. So I got a couple more spots I gotta fill in and reinforce, and I'll get that painted. It's not going to look the prettiest when it's done, but hey, it's the bottom of the wing, whatever. I just want to fly and have fun. So that project's going. And ooh, look at that. For those that remember the Combat Models F-16 from back in the 90s, what they were was an all-foam jet that you would either cover it in some kind of film if you wanted to. Most of the guys just glassed them, and they had a pusher motor right in the back. I think they were meant for a Jet 50, I think, but it just had the motor sitting in the back with a pusher prop, and they were awesome flying jets. But this one's a little bit unique. This one is all composite. A good friend of mine, a long time ago, it's been probably been 16, 17 years ago, took the composite model, or the Combat Models F-16, and made a fiberglass mold of it, and made his own composite version that had an OS-91 ducted fan engine inside. As far as I know, it only had 2 flights on it. Then it was put away for years, and it was given to me. If I ever decide to get it flying, I'm going to make it an EDF. I just don't see it being practical for a turbine because of the size. I mean, I don't really know if I can show the size, but you know, if I just kind of place my hand on it, you can see that it's a good sized jet. But you know, an OS-91 equivalent EDF would be really nice for this jet, but it would take a lot of work to get it going again. But if anything, it looks good just sitting in my shop. Other than that, nothing really new. Went flying last weekend, flew my clown airplane, my Slick, and that son of a gun right there decided to eject in my flight and took some nice little chunks out of my prop. Extremely happy about that. But that I can repair. Nothing structural. Just need to fill them in, rebalance the prop. We're good to go. So, nothing really new. Just kind of getting this thing ready to go. As of right now, I'm shooting for sometime in May to do the maiden on this. My goal is I want to fly it for Warbirds and Classics over Michigan in the first weekend of June. As of right now, I see no reason why I shouldn't have it done by then, but you never know. I also have my 3rd scale Stearman that my dad is finishing up. He's kind of been going through a tough time, but now he's getting things back together, and he's going to start working on that project again. So that might also be ready for June. I doubt it, but you never know. As long as I can fly it this year, I'll be happy. So, yeah. Oh, and got all the cutouts for the landing gears all done. So the gear fits in there real nice. I'm not going to do gear doors or anything. I'm just keeping it more sport scale than anything else. But you know, I got some little touches on there. You know, some little scale touches. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of glassing. I'm not a fan of building or glassing or covering or any of that stuff. I've been doing it my whole life because the planes that I like are only available if you want to build them. So I grew up building airplanes from kits. Had quite a few ARFs out the years. But the majority of the planes that I like, you know, I have to build them. I don't have a choice. I can get a composite version of this Panther, same size, that would probably cost just for the airframe, just the cost of the airframe, would be what I have total invested in this entire project ready to fly. So the reason I built this jet is because what you're looking at right here, just to build it, not including, you know, servos, turbine, or anything like that, it's about $300. So a lot of time and labor, but you know, it's worth it for being able to get into a nice scale turbine jet for, in this hobby, cheap. So good to go. Yeah, for, you know, not really liking glassing, it's the easiest thing to do. Anybody can glass an airplane. It's so simple, stupid. It's just I don't like how time consuming it is, the process. There's a lot of waiting, you know, but to cover something like this, a monocoat would not be practical. Wouldn't be able to hide seams very well. So, you know, yeah. I don't think it's been able to be seen on any of my other videos, but my Mustang, when I glassed this, I went ahead and did the panel lines and rivets, you know, made it nice. I made it not super scale, but, you know, it kind of adds a little bit of depth and some realism to it when it's sitting out on the flight line. But there's just not really much in that for me. You know, it makes a nice looking airplane when it's done, but overall, when it's flying in the sky, you don't see any of that stuff. So, there it is. The next update will probably be the fuselage either in primer or the fuselage all painted blue. Once it's all done up in blue, I'll probably get all the guts put in it before I put the rest of the trim on there. We'll see. Yeah. I'm getting quite excited, but yet terrified beyond belief because of how much time I have invested into this. But, you know, hey, it's just an airplane. A quote from Kenny Bryan of Byron Originals from way back in the 80s, who designed most of the Byron aircraft, including the B-29, the 400-pound B-29 they flew in the show. His quote was, oh geez, how did it go? Brain fart. Long day at work. Something like, sometimes you just have to put how much time you have into it and how much money you have invested in it and just go out and fly it and do the best you can. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. If it crashes, it crashes. I can always build another one, right? Yeah, right. Okay, guys. Later.